Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait up, nerds. If you're having as much fun as we're having,
Oh, yeah, we're having fun.
then please give us a like, follow us, tell your friends, follow us on Twitter at Nerdbuzzed, follow us on Facebook, leave us a comment, share a story with us, something you want us to talk about, fuel the nerd fire, and
Yes.
as always, you can go to nerdbuzzed.com.
Hey, you know they can find us on nerdbuzzed.com, man. But you know what we need?
What do we need?
We need some beer.
Of course. On with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Nerdbuzzed!
Nerdbuzzed doesn't condone the consumption of alcohol by any persons under the age of 21. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome to Nerdbuzzed, episode 65, the podcast where we talk about all the nerdy stuff that we care about and drink a cool, frosty beer while we're doing it. I'm your host, Marcus Ellinger, and with me as always...
Jeremiah Johnson. You totally remembered that this time.
I did.
I was beginning to worry. You didn't say as, like, with me as always last time. I was like, do I have a job?
Always.
Well, not according to last episode.
Yeah. Sorry, you gotta allow me a couple of faux pas.
All right.
I might come across as perfect, but not quite.
Wow. do you need to let that hat out a little bit?
Snap the back. So on today's episode of Nerdbuzzed, we have game delays. Classic.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah, we have Netflix.
Now, what did we say about that, though?
Fine with it, as long as it comes
good.
out quality.
Yep.
Yes. And some Netflix nerd news, which we're stoked about. And Jay and Silent Bob are going to make a return.
Yes, because Clerks 3 isn't.
Yes. I'm actually okay with that. I mean, not that one isn't, but that Jay and Silent Bob are going to come back.
Yeah, well, the Jay and Bob movie was pretty good.
Yes, I really enjoyed it. It has so many cheesy, like, tributes to so many cheesy things I love.
Yeah.
In that movie, yeah. And, of course, a ton more nerdy stuff. But before we get into any of that, my personal favorite part of the show, we go over to Jay.
For the beer.
Always.
Alrighty. Well, first of all, I gotta warn you guys now, I'm not feeling so hot today, but we're gonna try this out, see how it's going. And I hope I do really well with this, but it's...
Hope it all stays down.
That is the worry and the hope, yes. Today we are doing our second in the Rogue beers. Yep. Bing! Anyway, it's the Hazelutely Chocktabulous.
I'm glad you had to say that.
What? Hazelutely Chocktabulous?
Hazelutely. I really have to think about it. I don't know why.
I'm not gonna lie. I practiced before.
Okay, good. It's not just me. All right, good.
Actually, I practiced when I was trying to type it out for that tweet.
Oh, yeah. I kept typing, be like, just so that I can't do it. I was like, I'm glad this is Jay's job.
But this is a blend between two of their beers. It is their hazelnut brown and their chocolate stout. So,
yes.
And it's a 60-40 blend, it says here. So,
and we actually had it at the
Rogue Brewing night. Yeah,
Trivia night.
night.
Jeff.
Yep.
And it was one of the beers they had on tap there. So we've actually had it once.
Yes.
And
albeit with several other beers.
Yes.
So,
and Jeff was kind enough to bring over a really awesome sampler for us. So we got to try every beer that they brought that night. It's super chocolatey.
It is. All I could think is this is be amazing on ice cream.
Yes. Which I think we should still do it this way.
Yes.
We'll go this way. I want to smell it still because it was like a candy bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still smells super chocolatey.
Yep.
And I remember it being like...
Oh, it's got a stronger alcohol smell than I remembered it having before.
Yeah, maybe it's the bottle.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's not draft.
Yeah, it was draft before, but yeah, it's got a much stronger alcohol smell. Very, very chocolatey.
Yes. Super chocolatey.
Yeah.
So,
and the neighbor's got his car going.
Yeah, maybe everybody can hear that. That's a pretty sweet little car.
So the sweet little car is the one's parked out front right now.
Sorry. Like the backseat of a Volkswagen.
It is a Volkswagen. And it still has its back seat.
Nice. So it's very dark.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, super dark. But it's actually...
it's got some translucence to it, though.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's actually fairly clear for the translucence.
Yeah, I was going to say, for as dark as it is, it is still pretty... it's not real hazy or anything.
No.
No.
It's not.
So, should we do a standard beer toast and drink first?
Yeah, why not?
Why not? So we have a basis.
Absolutely. So to all the nerds,
Through all the fuzz,
bottoms up.
let's get nerd buzzed. Man, that is chocolate-y.
It is, but the carbonation and the hops really come through first that I don't remember happening the last time before.
Yeah, maybe a benefit to the bottle.
It is, but man, that sweet and chocolate just sets right in.
Yes. Super chocolatey.
Yeah, it's definitely Nutella in a bottle.
Yes.
Liquid alcoholic Nutella.
Yeah. Well, and I figured, since we've already had this once,
Yeah.
right? I figure let's try something that I've never done before. I've heard people talk about it.
Well, I'm sure people have drank beer through a straw before.
Yeah, right? I'm going just traditional. But I say we do some beer float action.
All right.
I've never done it. Let's try it. I've heard about it.
Okay, we're going to do this?
Yep.
All right, we're going to do this.
Let's do it. Commit to it. All right, here we go. I'm not going to commit too much because I don't know if it'll be super good. And I'm going to drink it with a straw, damn it.
You do that.
That's how you drink root beer floats. No. All right, let's try this bad boy. I'm going to go spoon first, like a man.
Yeah.
Weird.
I don't know.
It's not terrible, but it's
No.
weird. Wait.
It's actually not too bad.
No.
Not too bad at all.
The
I think it brings the bitter out a little bit more because we're getting so much sugar.
yeah.
But it's still not bad.
Oh, and a note to people out there that super enjoy vanilla ice cream. I believe this is the Dryers. It's either Briars or Dryers. I get them mixed up. But it's the lactose-free vanilla. Amazing.
Oh,
My
yeah.
favorite vanilla that you can get is the lactose-free.
And that was, because my sister is lactose
Yes.
intolerant, and I was totally shocked by that, how creamy it actually is. It's creamier than ice cream.
Oh yeah, it's so I'm not lactose intolerant, but I get it now just all the time anyway. Which is now crappy because I would get vanilla ice cream before that wasn't lactose intolerant, and I would eat all of it. But now I like this better, and now I have to share it because my wife can't eat it. So,
You
guess
win
we
some, you
share
lose some.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is the intent.
Yes, it's what I signed up for.
Yes.
It's more like what she signed up for. So
ice cream? Pretty
yeah.
sure she had that covered well.
Yeah. So first up, we have our nerd play,
Yes.
which I was a little anxious last week, and I said we could play it on Vita. I'm really bummed that you cannot play it on Vita.
Yeah, and I didn't double check that, and I totally put that out in the world saying that we could.
That's
Thanks.
all right. I took the whatever the heat for it.
Yeah.
Put it out
You
there on
donned the
myself.
mantle and-
I did
Yeah.
because I was assuming.
You
I
sure were.
emphasize that. So, because they did the Ollie Ollie, and that's PS4 and Vita crossplay. So
Yeah.
I was assuming, right? But I actually read where they were talking about it, and they said that it was just too hard to port it over to the Vita, and it just wasn't going to happen.
Really, it doesn't look like
Yeah.
it would be that difficult of a game.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it that causes it, but they couldn't make it work. So no Vita support. I'm really bummed because it's so caters to the Vita. It really does. There's really minimal buttons. It's awesome side scroller. You got to watch me play a little bit of it.
I did.
Right before we started here.
It was special.
It's really good.
I
really
think I'm going to
enjoyed it.
enjoy it, but
Maybe not. Maybe not quite as much as I.
all
was
I could
enjoying
think
it.
of is this is like the perfect. This is the perfect. What would you call it? Guilty pleasure game for you.
Yes, I was gonna say Marcus game.
Yeah, perfect
Yeah.
guilty pleasure game.
Yes, it's
Doesn't have to be good, but it's so good at being what it is.
Yes, it is. It owns what it is so much. It's awesome. It's a side scroller, 8-bit gunslinger action game, and it really reminds me of like a mix between Hotline Miami and Broforce. Very, very kind of that style. So
Yeah.
it's really, really cool. I'm loving every bit of. I'm already a third of the way through, and I 100%ed that third. So
Nice.
I'm stoked with that. Yeah.
Wait, did you 100% that last level before we came here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, not the not that last one. That's the first start of the second third of the game, I guess. It kind of comes in 3 chapters.
Okay.
So, but I beat the first one, the first
Okay.
block. Yeah.
100%. All right.
Yes.
All right.
yes.
All right.
And I'm gonna keep going. I'll try. The ones with the time limit are tough. So
That is actually pretty good.
yeah, it's not too bad, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So nerdy stuff. What I did, I went and saw Lego Batman movie,
Yes.
and I have to say it's so horrible, but it's kind of like Not a Hero. It's so terrible,
Okay.
but it's really good. I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
There are so many tributes to every single Batman movie that's ever been, and every actor that's ever played him, whether they're acknowledging how good it was or how horrible it was. It's all in there, and it's so cheesy, over the top, just really sarcastic and funny. I really
Nice.
liked it a lot. Batman is great. He's so full of himself. It's awesome. He is just he's got in the very beginning they go through and he like comes up to the camera and they point out his little Lego abs and then they highlight this weird little spot in the middle. And he's like, "Yeah, that's right. I have a 9th ab." It's just like, which is like a running theme through the whole movie. It was pretty good. I really enjoyed it.
Wow.
And the
It
other,
was just a casting mark, but it's 9th.
yeah, and the other thing I really like about the Lego movies is that every single thing in the movies is made out of Legos. So it's super cool. Even the clouds in the sky. Every time when they when there's like a flame, it's all the little Lego flame pieces that they just like have sputtering out and flopping around. It's awesome. I really enjoyed it a lot. My wife thought it was very.
I have not
Okay.
actually seen a Lego movie like completely through. I've seen parts of them. I've never actually seen a whole movie.
Yeah, the Lego movie I thought was actually pretty good. It's pretty cute. And then this one is, I mean, if you like Batman, you got to go see it. It's
I
it's
love
done
Batman.
really well. Yeah, and it's super. I don't know. It is terrible, but it's good. Another nerdy thing. I watched Legion,
Oh, okay.
and I have to say it's really weird, but I'm intrigued.
Okay.
I want to see more of it and check it out. And I figured out a little bit more about Legion. Apparently, Legion has just a slew of split personalities. And so each personality, he can like take on the personality of other people up to like, I guess he's assumed to have hundreds of them. But each personality has a different like mutant ability. So he's got hundreds of abilities, but then that persona takes over when he uses that power.
Okay.
So I think it's going to have a lot of just kind of trippy mental stuff going on in the show. So we'll see. But it was intriguing. I'm curious to see the next episode.
Well, the only nerdy thing I did this week was I got a hold of the Old Man Logan comics and read those. So
I only read the first one. You were kind enough to share one of your digitals with me.
Yeah.
And I was actually super impressed. I really enjoyed that first comic.
it was pretty good. It's got some really cheesy things to it,
Mm-hmm.
and then like it's a comic. Of course, it's gonna have some cheesy things to it.
Yeah.
But and I know he uses bub all the time,
Yeah.
but the bub gets used a little too much bub. If you know what I mean, bub.
Yeah. I read you, Bob.
All right, bub.
I like the...
Name's not Logan. It's Wolverine, bub.
Yeah, I did really like the how it has like the Hulk's grandchildren in it though. That
Yeah.
was cool. How it even had like the spider car that was in it.
Yeah.
That was cool. And I like how the Hulk's nephews show up in the Fantastic Four jet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they don't really explain why they've showed up in that jet, at least in that first comic, but you can assume so many things just
Yep.
based on that happening.
Yeah, that gets explained further.
I was kind of assuming that they would get
And
into some of that
it
stuff.
It gets very, very graphic and violent
Nice.
at the end. Yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna
And
like
it's-
it.
Oh, you are. It's pretty good. My only complaint about it is I think they could have drawn some of the action and stuff out longer.
Yeah, I did. I felt like there was a little bit of some pacing issues going on.
The fights just seem rushed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like every fight's like 2 pages. Even like the final fight is like, in case they give it 3 pages. It's like, no, dude, it's the final fight, man.
Yeah.
You really need to amp this one up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I'm sorry, but it's Wolverine Bub, and that's the highlight right?
Oh yeah.
We want to see some schnicked, and then we want to see some slashing.
Yeah, but that's the thing is they don't carry out. You don't get enough of that.
Mm-hmm. I read you.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
It is.
My other nerd thing I did, which I think you did this a little while ago, but I got caught up on the Sense8.
Oh, okay.
So I watched the special.
Yep, I watched the special as well.
You were totally right. Huge orgy scene.
Yep.
Yep. Although I have to say, for as crazy and weird of an orgy scene as that was, it's actually like, I don't know who choreographs that sort of thing, but it's actually like all put together pretty well. Like
They put a lot of thought into that.
Yeah, right.
Somebody was thinking really hard about that one.
I was there were parts of it where I was actually a little bit impressed that the actors are all doing what they're doing and pulling it off the way they are.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm super intrigued by it. It immediately sucked me in again. It's such a weird, trippy show, and it's got such cool like actiony moments in it too. Like when the German guy was getting in the fight, and the Asian chick goes up to him, and she just kind of looks in his eyes and says, "Just take a breath and calm down." And so he does, and then she takes over, and she just does all her karate crap and kicks everybody's ass. That whole scene was super cool.
It was. She got used so much more than I expected her to be used in this last one.
Yeah. Well, and I love how much they...
And it totally makes sense because she's in prison there, so...
Yeah, right? And I loved that they can just kind of go into each other, like take over each other's bodies or whatever, and how they would always offer to her, like, do you need a break? Do you need to get out of the prison cell? We'll go sit there, like, be in your body while you take over ours and give you a break, and you can experience the world. They're really tapping into that part of it because it's all explained in that first season, so they just accept it now and run with it. So I'm pretty stoked for this second season to see all that stuff come full circle. It's pretty good.
I'm starting to worry, though, about the bad guy character.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, the way after this second season, it's like, or this special and stuff, it kind of throws him in a weird light. It kind of brought him back though with the whole dad situation. So
yeah,
I was like, okay, so they're bringing him back to being a little bit more relevant. But it was initially I was going, I don't know about this guy.
Well, and that'll be season 2, right?
Yeah,
like season 2 is totally gonna bring all that stuff to a head. So yeah,
they need to.
Yeah, for sure. So, I don't know, that's pretty much my nerdy stuff I did. I mean, other nerdy stuff here and there, as always. Yeah. So a couple things for next week that are coming out. I'm stoked. He-Man Thundercats, number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Number 5, excuse me.
Is it
coming out?
Oh, geez, number 5.
Because I just did number 4. So number 5 comes out, which means one more after that.
Yep.
Your favorite movie, I know you've been looking forward to it this all year, and you can't wait, The Wall. With Matt Damon, this super racially offensive movie.
Yeah, I've been totally on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
All right.
I've never felt bad for the, what are they, the mongrels or whatever? The
Mongols?
Yeah, right. I've never felt bad for them before until I saw that preview. And I was like, that's just terrible. It's so offensive. And then also For Honor comes out next week on the 14th for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I currently have the beta waiting to play, and I haven't done it yet, so I might dive into that when we're done here. So, on to some more nerd news. Another game delay.
I know, I'm kind of bummed about this one, but I don't think it's for the same reasons as it was before, so it should be because they want to make it better or make it right.
Yeah. Well, so the game is South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
Yep.
Right. I love saying
you
that.
You get a kick out of saying that every
you
single
see
time.
a little grin every time I get to say that.
Oh yes. Not quite a pucker, but a grin.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ubisoft has said that the game was going to be scheduled for release this fiscal year of 2017-2018,
yep.
which gives us a potential of 15 months more to wait.
Instead of December this year.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and originally it was announced for December 2016.
Yeah.
And then they re-announced it for the first quarter this year. And then so now it could be as far as 2018. But I think a big plus about it is that I'm pretty sure it's still true, if you go to pre-order the digital version, you get the first South Park game right away.
Okay.
When you do it. So you can just play the Stick of Truth as soon as it downloads.
I need to do that.
Yeah. I've been so tempted because I'd like to have the remastered one, but I love my nerd shelf. I won't be able to see my sweet case on the nerd shelf, so
That's
I don't
true.
know. But it gives you something to do while you wait. So, and like we've always said, totally fine with a game delay, and I'm willing to wait as long as it comes out good.
Yes.
Right? And take as much time as you need, as long as you're releasing a good game.
Not
is there a limit on that?
There is a limit on that.
You're willing to deal with some crap in the game if you get it at a reasonable time.
If you go far enough, I think you're going to go past the relevance of a system that it was being developed for.
All right, but we're talking South Park.
Well, yeah, I get that, but I'm just, you know what I'm saying though. It's just with anything.
South Park. Nothing of South Park has ever been like technologically relevant.
Very true.
Yeah,
I mean the first episode was done.
Yeah, with construction paper.
With construction paper.
Yeah. But I am also bummed. Yes, that's too bad.
Yeah.
So some Netflix news. We got our first like real official, or at least another one of the Iron Fist.
Yes, and I'm actually very interested in it now.
Yeah. That first one, you weren't so much.
No, I wasn't. That first one looked kind of super cheesy. This one looks kind of super cheesy, but good.
Yeah. Well, and I love that his fist is already glowing.
Yes.
Right? Like they show it in multiple scenes in the trailer of his fist glowing. Like it does it a couple times, which means I don't think they're going to Daredevil us and make us wait till that last episode for him to pull that maneuver out.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool. He's got to do his Iron Fist, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I did like the whole just smack the ground and have the whole shockwave coming out.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yes. Very
It
cool.
was working awesome.
Well, and he will be our last defender. So once this comes out, I'm sure, second half of this year, we will actually get the defenders and we'll bring everybody together.
Yep.
So I'm super stoked about that too.
And they've already started shooting on the Infinity War too.
Yep. Yeah, I saw the little Marvel post about that.
Yep.
So I got to watch that. That was actually pretty cool. I like how
Peter Parker geeking out.
Yeah, I like how much they do that in the stuff that they get all excited about their own project that they're working on.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So I'm really curious to see how that all work. But they do keep saying it with the tone of once Infinity War happens and finishes, it's going to be the end of the cycle for our characters we have now.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit worried about what all that's going to mean. Like I realize that they can't keep using the same actors forever, but that has to be really tastefully done.
I think they can pull it off though. I
so?
really hope they can. I mean,
They need to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're gonna be DC, and we don't want to see that.
No.
No, I think they'll do it. I mean, they've been spot on for pretty much everything they've done. I mean, they finally got the Hulk right, so.
Right, because they took him out of his own movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the biggest problem. They just have him in there when he puts on his damn suit.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite part. So we get Iron Fist on March 17th, not that far away. Super stoked. Few weeks. Also, we got news from Netflix. This I thought was interesting. I remember hearing about this, but I didn't really investigate it too much when I first heard about it. But now they're making a big deal about it, and it's coming out this year. And it's going to be Netflix Castlevania animated series.
Yeah, you were mentioning that. That looked pretty kind of cool.
Yeah, there's no real footage or anything for it yet. It says it's going to adapt Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. Mm-hmm. They've said that there's already word of a second season that they've been signed up for that will come out in 2018. And it's going to be a 4-part season with 30-minute episodes, which I'm assuming only means 4 episodes. Then,
yeah, I'm guessing.
Which is pretty short, right? But the producer of it is, I'm going to mess this up, Adi Shankar? I don't know.
I have no idea.
He did The Gray. Do you remember that movie with Liam Neeson? At the end, he puts the like the airplane alcohol bottles in between his knuckles and fights the wolves.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's so bad. You don't need to see it. It's
okay.
terrible. But that's how the movie ends. He like puts these airplane bottles in his knuckles and like tapes them in between his fingers and then like breaks them on this rock and takes on a pack of wolves. And it ends that
Sounds pretty badass.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
No, but I mean like that whole idea. I mean, I like the idea of that.
It was pretty funny.
Total alcohol bottle fist packs with like.
And they didn't. I don't think they actually show it if I remember right. But that's how it ends. Like him ready to take him on. But he also did some sweet YouTube movies. One of them is the he did with the Punisher, and one that he did with the Power Rangers, where one of the Power Rangers, I can't remember, it's been so long since I've seen it, but where like one of the Power Rangers is going around and killing off all the other Power Rangers. And so it's almost this like interrogation scene while all this just crap's going down with them. It's very much more, it's got, what's his name? The guy from Dawson's Creek is in it. I can't remember. Dawson.
Oh, Vanderbeek?
Yeah, Vanderbeek plays one of the Power Ranger guys in it, and he's all like tied up to a chair. It might even be the chick from Battlestar who plays one of the other Power Rangers. But it's like all these actors that get in it. It's like this unlicensed Power Rangers short thing. But I actually kind of enjoyed it, and it's pretty gritty. So is the Punisher one. He did like a Venom one.
To be clear,
with Eddie Brock.
I know the Vanderbeek reference to Dawson from Jay and Silent Bob. Just so we are all clear.
Oh, okay. Not because you watched Dawson's Creek.
I've never actually seen a single episode of Dawson's
Not a
Creek.
single one?
Nope.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Go back to the pie.
Yeah. So the producer guy actually said, this is very much Castlevania done in the vein of Game of Thrones.
Nice.
So, yeah, potential for nice there. I'm more okay with it because there's only 4 episodes. So, because
Okay.
I'm not the biggest Game of Thrones fan because I think they drag crap out forever in that show. So it's going to be
Some
hard to do
stuff,
that in
but-
4 episodes.
It makes sense by the time you get to the next season why they did.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just tired of being stuck on the hook. Like, reel me in already.
That's what that whole series is just being on the hook.
I know. That's why I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
No, I get it. And he says it's going to be rated R as f. So,
Okay.
yeah,
I see you even typed out. Good.
yeah. And then he also says this is going to be the best fucking video game adaptation we've ever had to date. So we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not setting the bar too high, but
Yeah, right. That shouldn't be hard to do.
no.
So, on those Netflix notes, I figured we've kind of touched on the subject a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I was wondering, do you have a Netflix that you would love to see that you're like chomping at the bit? The other episode, you had one on your mind.
Hmm?
You had one on your mind that other episode.
Oh, I don't know.
I
what that is.
stifled you, remember?
Yeah.
I was totally that guy.
Oh crap. I know one thing I want to see. I want to see Knights of the Old Republic story.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Jedi emphasized.
Yes.
Like good
Well,
Jedi
yeah.
emphasized. Yeah. I think that's one thing that
Hence the Knights of the Old Republic.
yeah. As far as like live action.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that the Star Wars has missed out on is some really epic live action Jedi stuff. It's always right at the end of the era or right at the re-kicking off of the era, or like it's just you don't necessarily get them in their heyday. So that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, which is like totally what that was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crystals were available abundantly. There's Jedis everywhere.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, no, I
It was
agree that
pretty
would
cool.
be awesome.
And then there was a lot of Force users that weren't Jedis in the Old Republic as well. And according to them, you had to be a Jedi in order to command a crystal lightsaber. But, or at least an extremely advanced Force user.
Yeah.
But Force users could get like what they called vibroblades. And those would actually, they would resonate at the same frequency that the light waves would happen with a, the story behind it is with a lightsaber. And it was actually a physical weapon that would withstand a lightsaber.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I'd be all into that.
freaking cool.
Yeah. No, I'd be totally be into that. And totally kind of done like what they've done with Marvel stuff. Like that's the mentality.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
thinking, right?
Build the world,
Yeah.
and have the series stuff like Daredevil and Jessica Jones and all that stuff going on, and then have the big movies with
Have
the
them culminate into
Yeah.
their big Jedi throwdown.
exactly.
That would be pretty sick.
That would be.
I was thinking totally on that same kind of idea because some of my favorite Netflix is completely the Marvel stuff and what they've done with that and the way they've handled that. And even the Sense8 is kind of, it's all in one show, but it's kind of done that same way with the different characters that all come together to pull the one story together.
Yeah.
You know, and I really like the way they do that.
Yeah, I can see that because each character has their own life, which is in turn its own story. So
yeah, right. And then they all find a reason that they all come together to whatever.
Yeah.
You know, Sense8's really good. Everybody should check it out, and you should check out all the Marvel shows. But I was thinking, I would love to see a Street Fighter done in that same way. Like, I'd love it if they had like Chun-Li as her detective and like going to investigate something, and as she does it, she comes across like the fighters, and then you learn about Bison, who's the bad guy, and like they could have like the Chun-Li one and the Ryu one, which would of course have Ken in there, right? And just have all your different characters come together and culminate into this big battle against Bison and the bad guys. I think that would be pretty sick, and they could do it really well in that like kind of darker, more mature tone like that. Like the Marvel stuff has been done.
That would work really well.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Jeez.
So much cool fighting, right?
Oh, how would they do that though? With so many characters, they would. Wow.
You'd have to go like original Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Right.
But still, I mean,
not like hyper ultra alpha 25 million whatever the other one is.
No, I'm thinking original Street Fighter, but still, I mean, you've got still a bunch of characters and a bunch of backstories in which to follow, and you'd have to develop each one of those.
Yeah, when you could tie some into the same show, right? You
Yeah.
know, which would work. You'd have like I don't know, Chun-Li and Guile maybe meet up and work together a little bit. And you'd have Ryu and Ken be a team, obviously, right? Yeah. I don't know, it'd be kind of cool to do. The other one I was thinking along those same lines, how sick would it be if they did like a Ninja Turtles? Like they could do like a Ninja Turtles aftermath and have like maybe like Leo and Raph have had it out with each other, so they've kind of like broken up the team. And now they get to go off with Raph and his like jaded his jaded single outing, and you know, he's all kind of like private detective Raph sort of going out and just solving his own problem. And then of course they have to all come back together and work as badasses.
I can see that. I can totally see that. Why don't you write a comic arc?
Yeah, just for Netflix.
Yeah, no, just write the arc there. Write it out. Submit it. See what
All
happens.
Right. I'll work on it.
Yeah,
I'll work on it. I don't know. I think there's so much potential.
I think it's a great idea for a.
Yeah, I want to see them like the breakup has already happened. We already kind of can put together everything. We already know why it happened because we know the turtle so well. Right?
Yeah,
at least.
I mean, you'd have to say this is modern television or movies. You would have to spoon feed it to him.
Yeah.
Somewhat. I mean, you'd have to be like clearly like, so 10 years ago, the turtles broke up because of whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And Raphael has struck out on his own.
Yeah. Right.
Follow him as he stalks April even more. No.
Yeah. Right. Says the word "damn" even more.
Yes. It's her guardian angel.
Yeah. I think it could be pretty sick.
Yeah.
And I totally want that dark Marvel tone that they've given everything.
Yeah.
It's got to have that. That would be pretty awesome.
Or Raphael and Casey go off on their own.
Yeah,
that'd
work too.
That'd
Right?
work really
They
well.
could have their little team up.
Yeah.
One is the shadows, and one's the more open to everybody. Yeah. Because
one's the more detective and smarter. The other one's the more just hit things hard.
Yeah, right? And get pissed.
Yeah.
This is why I love Raph so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's very Vegeta. Yeah. Every good team needs one.
Yeah.
Somebody to do the dirty work.
I'm liking this story, man. I totally got some like spin-off ideas going now.
Right? Come on, Netflix. Get your shell together. So we also have that there's going to be a new Jay and Silent Bob movie.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
It's been announced. Of course, he announced the same thing for Mallrats 2, and which became a series, which didn't become a series.
Yeah, they're still looking for a network to pick it up.
Yes, and he doesn't think it's going to happen any longer.
I think it's because nobody cares about the mall. Nobody goes to the mall anymore.
No, but that was something that he was saying about his series too.
Is that he wants to bring the ball back?
Well, no, that he was like talking about that aspect of it.
Oh, yeah, as in that it's holding him back from getting it to production?
No. That's what he talks about in that nobody cares about the mall in Mallrats.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be funny if in the show there isn't the attendance at the mall anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's just a bunch of mall walkers. A bunch of old people. Bunch of old people and zoomies.
Yeah.
Spencers. There's always the Spencers in the mall.
Yep.
But it's going to be tentatively titled Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Yep.
And they're on a mission to stop Hollywood from rebooting Blunt Man and Chronic movie.
Yeah.
And which is
why?
Yeah, well,
royalties.
Yeah, right. And it's the same. It's kind of that same story as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Right, continued. And they're going to emphasize on poking fun at Hollywood for all their remaking that they've done just over and over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood is all over that.
Yes.
And which is kind of too bad, I think, because it's too bad that they keep remaking movies that were such a success.
Oh, I know.
Right? Like some of these movies the originals are so classic, and even some of them have set standards for other great movies to come out after them, and they're just gonna, I don't know. I feel like the remakes are never as good.
So, okay, now my question to that is you got the classic that's become this standard and this amazing thing, and they're going to do a remake, and there's always a possibility they could do a remake that is better. There is the possibility. Is it likely? History shows no.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was trying to think of, can you think of a remake that was done better?
No, but...
No.
But I'm saying there's the possibility that it could be. There's exceptions to every rule.
Yeah.
And also, I think when you have a bad remake, it just brings more attention and love to the original one.
Yeah, I guess I could see that.
It's like, whenever I see them do a remake that I don't like and stuff, I go right back to that original one and watch it and go, yeah, this is what I missed.
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes I watch the original one going, this was way worse than I remember it, but I still love it so much more.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's totally that, like, classic nostalgia part of it, right?
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder if you'll get any of that classic nostalgia for any of the remakes.
Yeah. Well,
like, I don't know.
They try to suck it out.
Yeah. It's super milked out of it, which is, it's terrible. And 90% of them are nothing but green screen.
Oh, I know.
Like, all of the horrible, one of I have down here, which I think is a huge culprit for this, is the Disney movies. How they're just remaking the crap out of everything, and now it's all live action.
Yeah, they're doing the live action from the cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast is our latest one, and I don't know. It's like I remember as a kid never being like this huge Disney fan. There were definitely ones in there that I really liked, and I kind of liked that earlier wave of the Disney movies. And then my sister got super into Disney movies because she's a super singer and loves all the songs and everything. And so I would watch them all and got into them then also. But
I'll say Beauty and the Beast was the first Disney movie I actually liked and watched.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was always a fan of Peter Pan. I always thought that was great.
I didn't care for Peter Pan. I like it now.
Yeah.
But as a kid...
Really?
No, he did every one of the Disney movies. He put on all the classic Disney movies or whatever's out there. And to be a whole group of kids, of course the parents be like, we need to do something with these kids, get them to do something. They'd put Disney movies on.
Yeah.
I was always the kid that was like, yeah, I got some, I'll go over here and play with the Legos or play with the Snoopy toys or whatever. But I was the one that was like, I can make believe in my mind better than this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I always liked, I guess as far as the kind of the newer-ish ones, I was a sucker for Aladdin. I did think Aladdin was pretty awesome.
It was cutting edge at the time.
Yeah. And
I went back and watched it not too long ago. I was like, this is not good.
Yeah. Well, I guess.
Although Robin Williams' genie part is amazing.
Yeah.
But he's just an amazing actor.
Yeah.
Comedian anyway. So.
And one of my the staple Disney movies for me is Sword in the Stone. Oh, and Robin Hood.
Okay.
I love Robin Hood.
I did love Robin Hood, but everybody loved Robin Hood.
Oh, okay, sorry. That doesn't count then.
No.
So
that was great. That was good. Blowing the snake up and
oh yeah, all of it.
And then using the straw.
Well, and those are I think that like Robin Hood and Sword in the Stone are good examples of those ones that have that where they when they animate them, they almost move like stumbly and clumsy. Mm-hmm. They have that just kind of natural clumsy stumbliness to them that I'm just such a fan of when they're moving around. It gives you it makes the character feel like they come alive. And then in the newer stuff, even when you get into like Beauty and the Beast, even Aladdin is kind of more that way, where you can tell they're starting to implement some like CGI stuff in there with some of the panning and the movements, and you lose that kind of organic little sketchy stumbles that they had before.
Yeah, and the characters are rigid.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's like the shoulders are planted in this spot, the neck is planted in this spot, and the head turns on the neck. The shoulders never move from their spot. It's just everything moves at the shoulders. And
yeah. Well, I think one of the Disney like claims to fame was always the like frame rate. Like there's so many frames to a Disney movie, so that's why they're always like moving so well and everything. And they seem to be really struggling to translate that to the live action, because they come across to me as beyond green screen.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens with them.
It makes sense, because I'm reading somewhere, it's like, what is it? The minimum frame rate for motion is 7 frames a second, absolute minimum.
Yeah.
And 13 frames per second is something like the minimum for smooth action.
Yeah.
And if you want something like what Tom and Jerry or what they were doing, I think those were like 30 or 25 or 30 frames.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Disney's probably even more than that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at the time they had more animation cells per minute or whatever, right, or a second going on than other typical animated stuff did.
Yeah.
And so much of it was all actually hand drawn. And they just
all of that back then was hand drawn.
Yeah, and they just don't.
I mean, yeah, they had
you lose that appeal now.
Yeah, it was done in cells, and so they would number the cells, and they could reuse a cell multiple times for different action.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like the backgrounds; those were all hand drawn. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and it's lost something, I think.
You know what I haven't heard of? Now that we're talking about animation, is that Van Gogh movie.
I haven't heard anything about it.
The painted animation thing. I haven't heard anything more about that.
I haven't heard about it either.
No, I kind of have to look that up now that you're talking about it, because that was one of the things that just totally blew my mind when I heard it. Every single cell, every single frame is 100% recreated.
Yeah.
So it's like every bit of action in that has been completely redrawn.
Yeah.
It's almost like doing a flip book. I don't know, I've done flip books. I don't know how many pages you are. I think the largest flip book I made was like 45 pages.
Yeah.
I never got any further than that.
Little stick men where they knock each other's heads off and bounce and roll around or something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think 45 pages was the longest I could devote myself to that. And,
yeah, that was pretty good.
And that
for like 3 seconds.
It was like,
if that.
Done.
So you can appreciate the Disney stuff then, right?
Well, yes, exactly. I mean, and this is fully detailed. And like I said, with that Van Gogh one, those are every single frame is a painting.
Yeah.
Is an individual painting.
And I remember them showing
like 170 artists or something like that.
Yeah, it shows them all sitting across, lined up there, and they're all working on the next frame for that next shot. Yeah. And they're all recreated full paintings.
Yep.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
That endeavor just
I had totally forgotten
blew
about that.
my mind, and I'm gonna have to look that up now.
Yeah.
Make myself a little note for that.
Get on it. So the other, and I guess they're doing the Jay and Silent Bob because the Clerks 3 was canceled.
Yeah, Clerks 3 was canceled. Mallrats couldn't find anybody to pick it up, and he doesn't own those movies or the rights to those movies. So Jay and Silent Bob is the one that he owns completely.
Well, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, he even talks about that. He says, yeah, I don't feel bad about it because I got into this industry and I sold them off because I intended to make more movies. And the way to do that was to sell them and make money off them so I could make more movies.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. Yeah.
So I was like,
I did our little, I think last year, maybe the year before, we had our episode that was about Hollywood remakes.
yes.
Remember? And we had our rundown of what was all on the chopping block for the next year.
Okay.
So I kind of looked into it again, and there's like a laundry list of movies that are going to be redone. But I just picked out some, at least, that I had cared about as a kid. The most recent one that I had heard, that I guess I can't say I was like this super fan of it as a kid, but I've seen the crap out of this movie, was Scarface.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to redo Scarface. I believe it's the Coen brothers that are going to do it, right? They're the that is Big Lebowski people, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna have to double check that now.
Yeah, they're like they're doing the final work on the script and everything. So I think that's actually supposed to be sometime this year.
Okay.
But again, like super iconic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. You think it'll still be 3.5 hours long?
Is it that long?
It was a double VHS. I know that tells you when I watched it, right? I watched it on VHS. I remember having to eject it and put the next one in.
What's a VHS?
Yeah, right. Yeah, screw you. It's the only way to watch movies. It's the only way to watch Star Wars in its original format, other than Laserdisc.
Yeah, I do have to agree with that. But I've watched it enough times now. In the HD, I've kind of gotten used to it.
That's terrible. That's horrible.
I know.
It's terrible that Georgie Boy has made you forget the nostalgia of those originals.
Oh my god.
Another one that they're going to redo, which I'm shocked, is The Neverending Story, which I guess they have the like sequels. But that original Neverending Story, come on. Tell me that you didn't have that on like home VHS recording with commercials and stuff.
I did.
Yes, I
did, and then I went and we got a double VHS unit player, and I rented it and then dubbed it.
And then just recorded your own things from the rental store? Did you have to put the piece of tape over the little cutout in the corner?
I sure did.
Yep.
And ask me if I removed that piece of tape before I returned it?
No. The original bootlegging. I like it.
Yep.
I'm totally guilty of that too. Another one is Commando, which I thought was hilarious. Why can't you just give The Rock a gun and have him go through shooting and killing a bunch of people and just call it something else?
Yeah.
Why does it need to be Commando? I don't know. Just to sucker people in, I guess, right?
And by the way, I just looked it up here. It is the Coen Brothers.
Nice. Nailed it.
You did.
Okay. Because I didn't write that down. I was stabbing in the dark, but I was pretty sure that was them.
Yep.
And then Romancing the Stone.
Really?
What? Right? Like, why do they need to remake that at all? Go watch the original, people.
Yeah.
That movie's awesome. I remember watching the crap out of that as a kid. I loved that movie. Short Circuit.
I can see this one being remade.
I could kind of see that one being remade, too. I could see them finding him, whatever, in somebody's attic all covered up with dust and hitting his power switch. But what would he'd be
Johnny
like?
Five's alive, and you're not anymore.
Yeah, he'd be so antiquated, right? He'd be blown away by the technology we have today.
He'd go watch Ex Machina and be like, "Oh,
yeah,
this is what it could be."
it's just gonna be him with his little eyebrows, just rolling around the streets, depressed. That's the whole movie. I'm outdated. Another one was Flight of the Navigator. Again, come on,
man. You can't.
I love that movie.
That's awesome.
Again,
that's such a nostalgic movie,
right? It was one that I owned, or I never owned. I just had the recording off TV, right?
Yep.
Then we had Weird Science, the same kind of thing, man. Like, just watch that original movie. It's so good. It's so terribly good.
You're gonna look at it though and see that computer scene and go like this: is that really a computer?
Yeah.
Is that what computers were?
Yeah. Flatliners. Have you seen Flatliners?
I have not seen Flatliners.
I was a huge fan of Flatliners as a kid. It's this weird. It has Kiefer Sutherland in it. Julia Roberts. It has one of the Baldwin brothers is in it. Not Alec, and not the blonde one. Not the one that's like the really bad Baldwin. I don't know. The other one. The other Baldwin.
Okay.
But
there's a bunch of them. But
yeah, right. There's it's a movie that's all about these like med students that are in school, and so they do these experiments where they kill each other, they supervised killing of each other. And so, because they want to know what happens when you die, and so they push it and go longer and longer and longer while they're dead, and then they bring them back, all the different people in the movie, and it ends up when they do that, it causes different things to happen, and so it's like this kind of like a trippy thriller movie. But I actually really liked it as a kid. It's a weird movie for a kid to like. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
If you watch it and think he liked this as a kid, it's like it was just a weird movie.
Yeah.
But I actually really liked it, and it turned me on to Kiefer Sutherland.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other one, Bloodsport. Like, why make Bloodsport again?
Well, is it going to be Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Oof. Then it should be no, because then it'd be Bloodier Sport.
There you go.
Right? And then how about Overboard? tell me you didn't. Did you watch that one when you were a kid?
I did.
Yes. Come on, guilty.
I did.
It's horrible and terrible, but you did. I know you did.
I did.
Right? So I don't know why that needs to be redone. Cliffhanger again. That's like a Stallone classic for me. I love Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I totally got sucked into the Rockies, man, on AMC.
Okay, this last one, the next one, I'm kind of interested.
Big Trouble in Little China?
I'm kind of
No, you can't do it.
Dude, I loved that movie so much.
Yes,
I
don't let
watched
them
it
ruin
through
it.
so many times. Dude, I think I might like it more if they do ruin it.
If they, is it a remake or a sequel? You'd rather just have a full-on remake?
I don't know.
I don't know either. And who's gonna play the people?
Oh, man. I don't know, man.
I don't know either, right? I don't know. Whoever, and if they do the overboard, who's gonna be the guy in like the wife beater doing this classic maneuver? Right? They got to be able to pull that off. I don't know. The Kurt Russell. I'm scared about these Kurt Russell remakes. I'm also scared about any movie Kurt Russell does now. But and then we talked about Disney stuff. So we kind of got those out of the way there.
Yep.
But yeah, this past weekend I totally got sucked into the Rocky Marathon on AMC.
Nice.
It's so easy to do. I was flipping channels. I passed it, and then went to go back down the channels, hit it again, and I got stuck. It was right when he. And,
I'll give you a breakdown of each one.
Okay.
Yo, I can't make it through this right now. I gotta try hard. So then he goes training montage, right?
Yep.
He goes, hey, I'm wearing them down. I block with my face.
Yep.
I block with my. Don't worry about it. I block with my face. I got him where I want him. I block with my face, man. So yeah, that's what he does.
That's every movie.
Every Rocky movie. Yep.
Yeah.
Block with my face.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you just hit my face. It don't matter.
Yeah. Nobody fights like that. Nobody ever would do that. So, I don't know. You want to do?
Hey, at least he actually loses though.
Yeah. Well, that's because then we want to root for the comeback.
I know.
Yeah, the underdog. He's got to be the underdog before we can root for the underdog. Even though he always starts out on top.
At the very first one, he was the underdog.
Yeah, not in the first one. You're right. Yeah,
I think he was the underdog to start with, and he lost.
Yeah, I think for him to have directed those movies, starred in those movies,
and
wrote those movies, like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I give some props to Stallone for that. I'm just gonna say it. He's not my man crush, but he's close. He's a runner-up. So I was gonna ask you. We're like 50 minutes in. I think I got enough beer to do it. If you want to stretch it, do we want to talk Kuromukuro? I finished it.
I did too.
I know we were gonna watch it for the month, but I finished it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Screw it. It's our show.
All right, yeah.
Bonus content. So Kuromukuro season 2. It was our anime for the month, but we've already screamed through it.
Yep.
Last time I gave it a 6. Jay gave it a 7. I'm just going to say it off the bat. I think that season 2, I think 6 was kind of generous for season 1. And I don't think season 2 deserves any more than a 5.
Really?
I think it's just okay. It has some sweet spots in it. And those are great. Some of the fighting things in it. Again, he's still kind of baffled by technology, but he gets in this big robot that has that is the inside of the cockpit is all metal, but then when they get in, it all turns into this hologram thing, and that doesn't baffle him.
Yeah.
I don't get that. And he can fly around in this floating cube car thing, and that doesn't baffle him. So I don't know. It's Inuyasha to me, but not as good.
Yeah. This season starts out and holds it pretty good, I think, pretty strong with the action.
More so, for sure.
And I think they did a really good job with that at first. And then they tried to do a little bit more character development with some of the outside characters, and I think they did okay with some of them. The little blonde chick,
yeah,
they did okay with that. Did her character. The whole princess thing, that just kind of got muddled up and lost.
Yeah, which I thought made it feel even more Inuyasha this season.
Yeah.
Because of that, right? The whole Kikyo, what's her name? Kagome, right?
Kagome and Kikyo.
Yeah, right? It's made it so Inuyasha for me this season.
Yeah.
I couldn't get over that part of it. Were you a big fan of his rainbow wings?
No.
No? I
was
wasn't
not.
either. As soon as he busted those out, I was like, what is that?
Well, that's the ogre, by the way.
Yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of the rainbow wings.
No, but it said it quickly took a turn south,
Yes.
and yeah.
But that first episode was so good.
Well, the first few episodes were really good.
Yeah.
And the action really did well for a fair bit of the way in.
Yeah.
But by the end, I just kind of just put them on autoplay and found other things to do and let them play through.
Yep. By the end of it, I think the last 3 episodes, I watched. I sat there and did stuff while I watched it, but I looked into some of the nerd stuff and looked at another brewery that we were going to talk to. And, like, I did some things like that while I was getting into watching those last few episodes. And I was going to see, do you think it ends now? Like, is that it?
They definitely brought it to a solid conclusion point.
Yeah.
But they left it very, very open to come back.
Yeah. Like,
So
they could
it's
almost do like a kind of like a next generation sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, they could. They
I
could easily
can't
do that.
recommend it to anybody. Could you tell anybody that you have to go see this?
No.
No. Right?
No. I can tell everybody they need to watch the first episode of both seasons.
Yeah. Well, and again, in the first episode of that first season, he just like kicks everybody's butt. And it's like no contest. He's like the most badass Kuromukuro fighter there is, right? Or Mukuro fighter there is. And then as the show goes on, for some reason, he can't handle fighting people anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like he needs all that support. And it kind of happens with this one, too. He starts out as such a badass, and then slowly, I don't know, he brings in all this other drama and stuff that gets in his way.
Yeah. It
It's
really
the
does.
love triangle.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But
Can't handle the 2 women.
so you're going to give it a 5, huh?
I think a 5, man. I think I was generous a little bit on the first season for 6.
I think I'm gonna go 6 then.
Think so? I
Yeah.
talked you down from your 7?
Well, I was not gonna stick with a 7 on this one, but I don't think I'm going as low as a 5 though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
go
think
6.
it's okay. I think you would have to be more into kind of that drama side of it, but without, there just isn't a lot of like in-depth real character building though. Like that part of it's kind of pushed to the side, but at the same time they seem to make it an emphasis point.
Yeah,
Like,
they start to really build on it and then just kind of stop.
Yeah. So, like, it wasn't enough to make you care about the characters. It
No.
was enough to make you aware of them, but you didn't care and you didn't personally get attached to them. And in the ways that they did get you attached to them, I didn't care about.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't emphasize on the parts I wanted. So, I don't know. It just wasn't for me, that's for sure. Because, again, put the damn suit on and kick ass. And they kind of lost that, I think. The further the season went on, too.
Yeah, this yeah, as far as character development, that's got to be one of the hardest things to do, though, I think, is develop a character that you can relate to and want to care about.
Yeah.
That's going to be really difficult.
Well, and it's so personal,
Yeah,
right?
it really is, but good writers can do that
Yeah.
and write them in a way where everybody fills in the blanks in their head enough
Yeah.
that they develop a personal connection to them.
Well, and I think going back to nerdy stuff this week, I think that Sense8 show does such a good job about that,
Oh, yeah, they do.
right? Because again, you're talking about 8 characters
And some of the
that
characters
all come together, and they're all so drastically different. But
and
you
some of
care
the
about
characters
each
when they
one.
start out too, you're like, why do I care about this person? I really don't.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, it's like, dude, that's the best person ever.
Yeah.
Why? You know?
Right? They're waiting to pull out that ace up their sleeve that
Yeah,
whole time.
exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love, God, I love that show. And but it's like this whole character development thing is I have a friend who recommended a book to me, and it's written by a gal. I usually don't read books written by women for women.
Yeah.
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 But and I'm not sure this is really written for women as general, but it's definitely from a woman's point of view on a lot of things. And it's like, I don't understand a lot of the stuff they're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. But this I keep relating to this chick that's the lead character so much. And the whole thing I go back to being that one person in the theater that's like, don't do it. Don't do it. I told you. See what happens? I told you not to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my gosh. And that's what I catch myself. I physically out loud is like, don't open the door. Oh, you dumb. Don't open the door.
Yeah.
You know?
You opened the door.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Exactly. And it's just like, it's like, oh, I care about you, but I hate you. I hate you so much.
I think it definitely says something about a character when you can hate them as much as you love that character.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's really selling a character to somebody.
Yeah.
For sure.
And it's like you're such an intelligent person. Why would you do this?
Yeah.
Why would you do this? And I understand the reason that I find you intelligent is because I've totally created this image of you in my mind, and that's what you are. But you're so dumb.
Yeah. It really is such a good sign. When you care enough to hate something about it, right? Except for in the case of Kuromukuro.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah.
Yeah.
But that just comes down to the character development.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what they're lacking, and we've had that in a few of our shows.
Yeah, I think it's really tricky to do, and I think in the, I know that in the anime world, as far as the like producers and developers and the creators of it all, the animators, there's tons of pressure, right? Like they're typically put under, they get slated to have this many episodes by this date, and they're like under, super watch to make sure that all that happens. So they gotta crank this stuff out.
And once you get serialized as a manga artist, it's you are going to have it by this week. If you don't have it, you're canceled.
Yeah,
you're done. That's as far as you go.
Yeah. So I could see that. I could see it making it more difficult to really flesh out characters and really give people a chance to grow with the character through that stuff.
Yeah, if you ever want to see into the manga industry and just see how intense it is, I think they actually did make an anime out of it. I read the manga.
Yeah.
But I think they did make an anime out of it. Was Bakuman.
That's all about animators.
It's about some young kids.
It's an anime about animators.
Yeah, it's about a couple of young kids that decide that they want to become mangaka, which is manga creators.
Yeah.
And how they break into the industry, and it's like, as far as the series of the books go, I mean, it's 2 seasons and two full series runs of the books, and they don't make it until the end.
Oh wow!
I mean, that just shows you how long of a struggle it is, and that's like years covered in those books.
Yeah,
and they definitely had really good character development. And
if you when you think anime and you think like awesome characters, what anime do you think of?
I think anime awesome characters.
Where you had that attachment, right? They really fleshed out the characters and
Cowboy
made them
Bebop.
relatable. I was going to say the same thing. I think it's amazing that Cowboy Bebop makes those characters so relatable in such a small number of episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, because I mean, clearly we're huge fans of DBZ, right? And I think Dragon Ball does that too. Like, you totally learn and grow with those characters, like, visibly, and
I think that changes depending on where you jumped in too.
Yeah, right? But again, now you're talking hundreds and hundreds of episodes.
Oh, yeah.
To build that, right? But I think I was thinking the same thing, Cowboy Bebop. They do it so well in what is it, 24 episodes? Like, it's really not that long.
Yeah.
I think that's about all it is. I think it's like a typical season, pretty much, which is like 24 episodes.
12 episodes is a season, so 2 seasons, right?
Yeah. So it's amazing. Cowboy Bebop is so good.
Oh, it's far away my favorite.
Yeah. I was almost thinking we should just do, one of these months we're going to have to just do a Cowboy Bebop month just to relive it. Just to do it again.
Oh, we got another half of this month. Let's just do it.
Should we do it this month?
Yeah, why not? We got another half.
This month. Let's treat ourselves and everybody else out there, because
Yeah.
if you watch it, you will be so happy.
Love that, and I'm sure I can burn through it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, me too. All right, no, I'd totally watch it again. I bet Kristen will even watch it with me. She's mentioned before that she is not opposed to Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, she's seen it before. She jumped in right at the Ein and the kid coming in.
Oh yeah,
Magic Pencil,
which is probably, what is that, like
about a third of the way in.
Yeah, I was gonna say something like that. That has one of my favorite Cowboy Bebop episodes is the mushroom episode, because it describes, it sells, like I've seen so many movies where they show people on mushrooms or that are frying or tripping out or whatever, and nothing sells it as much as that episode does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it when he's on the mushrooms and it's like in his mind he's walking up this never-ending staircase and it's all intense for him. But then I think it's Ein who or Ed who looks and sees him, and he's actually just on the same step, just stepping over and over, and that's why the steps are never ending because he's not going anywhere, right? Yeah. But it's like that's what happens. Like that's how it feels. It was like it's done so well. That and Fear and Loathing. You got to give it to that movie for really portraying what it's like to be messed up on something.
I wouldn't know that one, but yeah.
You know, my youth.
But no, have you ever listened to Joe Rogan Experience?
I have not. I know of Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
I know him from my favorite is News Radio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guy is amazingly intelligent, and it's not that really that he's discovered anything new. It's just his ability to retain information and then relate it back in a manner that you get.
Yeah.
You understand.
Joe Rogan himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
is so contradictory to the characters he plays.
Oh, I know.
Right?
Or who are you thinking?
The isn't that who he is on News Radio? Am I thinking of the wrong guy?
I think so.
That must be. Who's Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan, UFC guy.
Yeah.
News Radio. Yeah.
Okay, good. You're freaking me out there.
Sorry. Yeah, no, but I mean, he is. The guy is incredibly intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
he plays a bubbling idiot on that show, though.
And you should hear his take on human evolution and why we're alcohol dominant in society now instead of psychedelics and mushroom type dominant society.
Huh. I'll have to check it out.
It is crazy, and I actually heard him on Kevin Smith's podcast.
Yeah.
And
big surprise.
Yeah. Those two went in depth about it. And imagine that, Kevin Smith going in depth about drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally geeked out on it.
Yeah.
And but no, it was one of the most like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense about human evolution and what's going on. Huh. And it's pretty cool.
I'll have to check it out.
You will.
I kind of like Joe Rogan.
He's freaking awesome, dude. The guy, I think he's like rapidly becoming my new man crush.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Kevin Smith's gonna be jealous.
He can be.
He might be Kevin Smith's man crush too. Who knows?
I think he is.
Yeah, there you go.
I really do.
So does that bring us to? Is it our least favorite part of the show? Because it's when we finish the beer.
Sometimes. Sometimes it's well worth it.
Yeah. So first up, beer wrap up. Wicca. What do you think of the ice cream with the beer? What did you think?
Pleasantly surprised, actually.
It was not as I was thinking it might be abrasive, but it wasn't.
No, it was.
I think this beer catered to it.
Well, of course.
Yeah, but it was actually pretty good.
It was not as it wasn't as sicky sweet as I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why, but I just went into it with a float mindset of like a Coke float or a root beer float or something.
Which is super sweet.
Yeah, and it's like, I usually can't handle them.
Me too. And that was actually a fear that I had. I thought that putting the ice cream in there was going to amp it up to this just ridiculous sweet level. But really, the ice cream actually kind of came in there and just kind of chilled and smoothed it out.
It did.
Yeah.
And that's what like totally shocked me about it. And it kind of enhanced the bitter side of it initially.
Yeah.
But once it just completely melded together and all that stuff, it was actually really good.
Yeah, no, I was really, really pleasantly surprised. I mean, I think, okay, here I'm going to try. I think everybody should try the Hazelutely Choctabulous.
Almost.
Was that wrong?
No, you got it. It's
okay.
Just you didn't enunciate quite perfect.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't practice.
Yeah, you should have.
But yeah, no, I say totally pick one up. Try it with some ice cream. I think if you're gonna venture out there and try a beer float, prime beer candidate for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And really though, on its own, I've kind of warmed up to it a little bit.
It's not so bad.
Yeah.
I think I like it from the bottle a lot better than I did from draft.
Yeah. Not typically the case.
No, but that draft was the chocolate and the sweet part of it was super, super intense.
Yes, totally.
And I don't know if that's followed
it was
by
Yoo-hoo with booze.
It was, and I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was just amplified by the fact that it was following their Yellow Snow IPA.
Yeah.
which could totally be the case. I mean, like, we'd have to have one here to do a side-by-side taster and see.
Yeah.
But like I said, I had the Yellow Snow first thing because I'm just an IPA person. And yeah, it was.
Which this is so not.
No, not even in the description.
No. But I'm still. I don't know that this would be. This is probably not going to stay in my beer fridge for a GTA Tuesday.
No.
I'm totally going to pick up another one of the ones from last week, the cold brew. That's going in there.
That was good.
That,
that was
so
amazingly good.
But this one, I say be adventurous. Get some lactose-free vanilla ice cream because it is the best. Whether you can handle the lactose or not, it's the way to go. And I say pick one of these up, put some beer in there with it, and it's actually pretty good.
It is.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's for as dark as it is, it's not nearly as heavy and sweet as you'd expect.
No.
It's got a really actually light mouthfeel, more than I was expecting.
Yeah.
And
almost kind of like the mouthfeel is similar to the one from last week almost. I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. It's different. I really don't know how to describe this beer.
Yeah, right? That's kind of how I felt last week too. I know it's pretty good. I'm impressed with what's going on with Rogue here.
Yeah, me too. It's unique.
Yeah. Hence the
and
Rogue.
It uniques up on you.
Yes, it does. So, we didn't actually put a number on it.
Oh.
What do you feel?
Well,
we got to do it.
I don't know what we compare it to.
I know, right? It's
like true to style. I mean, I like it. I'm not going to go out and seek it out too often. I mean, I'm get one every now and then as a treat.
Yeah.
As a special change things up. But
if I went somewhere and they had this on tap and I couldn't have too much beer before I went and did something important, I'd totally drink one of these.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That'd be a
right?
perfect situation. Have one and be done.
Yeah, one and done, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I can't show up hammered, but I want to enjoy a beer, so I'll get one of these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd work. Although I don't know what you'd eat it with.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
what it would pair. What are they saying it pairs with?
I don't know. It's probably on there, huh?
Yeah. They have it pairing with beef and dessert. Well, we
there
totally
you
did
go.
the dessert.
Yeah, we did. All right, so I'm going to say...
What kind of beef would this pair with? Man. Good pot roast.
Candy
good
steak?
Pot roast. This would... Oh, well, candy steak's almost dessert anyway, so...
Yeah, right?
Candy steak or a good pot roast. I think good pot roast, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give it a... Man, I think it does. It maybe deserves better, but I'm just going to give it like a 6.5.
Okay, I was going to give it a 6.
Okay.
So...
Nice. We're kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
To all the nerds.
Through all the fuzz.
Bottoms up.
Let's get nerd buzzed.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. As always, go to nerdbuzz.com where you can listen to any episode of Nerdbuzzed 100% free, as opposed to
any other percent free.
Find us on Twitter at Nerdbuzzed. And please share any of your nerd stories with us. Fuel the nerd fire. Anything you'd love to hear us talk about, we would love to talk about it.
Yep.
So until then, stay nerdy.
Not anything.
Anything.
All right.